Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So I'm here with another gaming phone review, an Android phone of course, running Android 11, and this is the first time that I've ever messed with one of these phones before, and I'm glad they sent it out to me. It's the RedMagic 6R. So it's the follow-up from their RedMagic 6 phone, but this one, super cool. Snapdragon 888 processor. It's got an AMOLED screen, which is a huge plus for me. 144 hertz refresh rate, and up to 12 gigabytes of RAM. There are a couple different storage configurations. We're going to talk about that in this video, but this is my unboxing and first impressions. I've got the maxed out model, and I really like this. This artwork on the front looks cool. But anyway, we're going to dive in, take a look at it, and talk about this latest and greatest gaming phone on the Android scene. Before we do that, though, I do want to say if this is your first time stopping by the channel, thank you for being here. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button, and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out, which is all the time. I'm always making new videos. So if you like the stuff, come back and watch more. Now, let's dive in and take a look at the RedMagic 6R. Alright, and here we are with the RedMagic 6R. This is their latest and greatest gaming phone, and this is the first time I've ever tested out a RedMagic phone, so I'm actually really interested to test this one out. And we'll go ahead and take it out of the box with my handy dandy unboxing tool here, which pretty easy considering it's just got some plastic wrap on it. But one really interesting thing about this phone is that it has a starting price of $499, and it has a Snapdragon 888 processor, which is pretty good, especially considering the market. And you look at, I mean, that's the flagship processor for the year 2021. The box looks really cool. I like all this red lettering on here. I guess that's pretty, I mean, it makes sense. It's a RedMagic phone, and it does seem to be fairly magical with what it's capable of doing. It even has the capacitive shoulder buttons on it, which are something I've never experienced before, so I'm pretty stoked about that. Now you can see the fingerprint diagram there on the screen. It does have a fingerprint sensor underneath the screen, which is nice. It has facial recognition. It has also a quad camera setup on the back with a 64 megapixel camera anchoring the whole thing, and then an 8 megapixel ultra wide. Pretty decent. I'm hoping to test it out. I'm going to make an entire video testing out the video and the camera capabilities on it. This one that I have is the liquid metal color. It looks a lot like Mercury. Like, it's really, really cool looking. I like it a lot. The only thing that you'll notice here is that as you use the phone, it gets a lot of fingerprints on it. So there's the shoulder buttons up there, and they're capacitive. That means that they're touch sensitive, just like the screen is, and they have vibration motors. It's really a neat thing, and you can customize it and set it up for different functions in different games, which makes it really, really useful. It's something I'm definitely interested in trying out. 16 megapixel camera on the front there, and it's only capable of 1080p for the video, which is kind of a downside. I wish it would do 4K even at 30 frames per second, but it doesn't. So here inside the box, we've got a lot of the standard fare. We've got the SIM ejector tool, pretty neat. I mean, it's got their own unique one, I suppose, there. And then on the bottom, we've got the SIM tray, and I wanted to take this out in this video just so you can see. A lot of people are always interested in this. So it has two SIM slots, SIM 1 and SIM 2, properly marked. There is no SD card slot, so there is no expandable storage. What you see is what you get. You can get either 128 or 256, and there's different RAM configurations as well. It does come with a complimentary case. It comes with some paperwork there, which you're absolutely not going to read. So toss that off to the side there. The case is your run-of-the-mill, just the cheap TPU case, which is fine for keeping the phone protected, but it's nothing to write home about. But it does keep the fingerprints off the phone. It does, alleviate that and help it to work out a little bit better. Then it's also got the openings for the shoulder buttons, which is ever important. So you've got that. You've got the raised lip on the back, which protects the cameras as well. USB-C charger on the bottom. It's got a 30-watt charger included in the box, which you'll see here in just a second. Go ahead and take the little tray out of here. See the rest of the content. So we've got the charging cable here, USB Type A to USB Type C. It's a red charging cable. Reminds me a lot of the one for the OnePlus phones. Got our charging brick here, so you're covered there. You can recharge it quick, fast, and in a hurry. It's got Quick Charge 4 on it, I believe. And yeah, USB-A there. And then we have a dongle in here to convert it from USB Type-C to a headphone jack so you can plug in your wired audio if you want to go that route. And yeah, nothing else in the box. Pretty straightforward and simple. And yeah, so I'm going to have to go ahead and get this sucker set up so we can test it out and use it and all those great things. But it looks pretty neat. It's got an aluminum body and some Gorilla Glass on it, which I think is pretty good, especially for the price. Now that we've taken a look at what's inside the box and the phone, let's fire it up. I'll get it set up and come back and let you know what I think. So here we have the RedMagic 6R in all of its glory. I actually have the case on here right now, and let me go and take it off just for the video. The case does get lots of fingerprints on it, just so you know. It's one of those very common, flimsy, clear TPU cases. Just enough to keep it protected, not enough that it's super nice and is going to last you for forever. It does come with a factory installed screen protector though, which we highlighted in the video, where the fingerprint sensor underneath the screen works perfectly fine. They do recommend that you use the factory screen protector though, and I don't really know how you get an extra one. Maybe you can order one from the website. But also facial recognition, ta-da, really fast, super zippy, I like that. You've got the quad camera array on the back. Very interesting setup here. We got a 64 megapixel primary, an 8 megapixel ultra wide, a 5 megapixel macro lens, and then a 2 megapixel depth sensor. So you can take your portrait shots, your bokeh effect, all that great stuff. Your up close and personal National Geographic shots, as I like to call them. You've got the AR triggers over here on the side. So these are actually buttons. These are like top mounted trigger buttons that you can set up and use with different apps and different games when you play them. Very cool because they're capacitive. That means touch sensitive. That means like touching your screen. That's how they work. It's not like a button with a spring that you squeeze it. None of that jazz. And you can adjust the sensitivity and do other things with it. It's really, really cool. I like what they did there. And beautiful screen. I really like this AMOLED display that they have. 144 hertz refresh rate, so it's smooth as butter. It's great for when you play video games, when you're scrolling your social media feed. This is what I love right here. It's so smooth and nice as opposed to like a 60 hertz refresh rate on a normal screen or like an iPhone. You have a 16 megapixel front-facing selfie camera, and I've been very, very impressed with how it actually looks. You can go ahead and use the volume down button here to take a selfie picture, but here we go. We'll take a look at what we got. Not too shabby. Pretty good likeness of myself. I mean, I don't know if you like what myself looks like, but I think it's a pretty accurate representation. And on top of that, I like that the camera is center mounted up top. It doesn't have the smallest pinhole like the latest and greatest Samsung phone or some other devices, but it doesn't really bother me. It's up there, out of the way, and it's kind of in line with the rest of the information on the top feed of the screen. So you've got that going on there, and I've been pretty impressed with what it's able to do so far. I'm going to do a full review on the camera. That way you can see everything that this phone is capable of. You've got this big quad camera array. It's capable of shooting 8K video up to 30 frames per second, which is impressive because not a lot of phones can do that. So if you want to go that route, you can do that. So there's 3 different storage configurations here, which is kind of weird. You can do 128 gigs of storage with 6 gigs of RAM. You can do 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. You can do 128 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM. Or you can get the fully maxed out model, which is 256 gigs of storage and 12 gigs of RAM. That's a lot of RAM, a lot of storage. There is no external storage configuration. You cannot put an SD card in here. There are 2 different slots though for SIM cards, so you can rock with an unlocked SIM for SIM 1 and SIM 2, dual SIM. I think that's pretty cool, but there is no expandable storage, so that's kind of a miss there. But also it's kind of similar to what everyone else is doing. Apple does it, Pixel does it, Samsung does it. It's kind of hard to ding them whenever everybody else is doing it, but my impression is I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. You probably don't either. It has UFS storage 3.1, so it's got really, really fast storage whenever you're installing things, when it's running apps. Very, very zippy. You've got Wi-Fi 6, you've got Bluetooth 5.2, you've got aptX support, so you can get great compression on your audio so you can listen to your music. There is no headphone jack. We saw that on here. No headphone jack on the phone, but as you saw in the box, it does come with the dongle, so you can convert it from USB-C to 3.5 millimeters so you can listen to your wired audio that way, if that's how you so like to roll. I like to use wireless stuff myself now. I've got pretty comfortable with them, and I think that the compression and the transfer of the audio is pretty good nowadays, and the battery life is decent on wireless headphones. So that's kind of how I roll. But if you want to plug in some headphones, you can do that. But one thing you might want to think about though, there's not a whole lot of wireless gaming headphones. There are actually some wired gaming earbuds. I actually have a set that I like, and they work pretty darn good. So if you got a gaming phone, might want to have some gaming earbuds. You get the fastest transfer of audio information going on, and they also have a built-in microphone and unlimited playtime because you don't have to worry about wireless earbuds dying on you. So there might be still something to it, to using some wired earbuds. or headphones if you want to do some gaming. And also, you don't have to worry about losing out on any of the information. Sometimes there's some lag whenever you're playing games and using wireless audio, so I don't know, just kind of thought about that. That might be something cool. Still use some wired earbuds, get instantaneous sound, no lag, no delay, talk to your buddies. So that could be a good thing there. 6.67-inch screen. It looks beautiful. I've really been enjoying using it. So one of the cool things is it has a 360 hertz sampling rate on the screen. We've talked about refresh rate when we talk about 144 hertz, how fast images refresh on the screen. When you talk about the touch sampling rate, that's how quickly it refreshes the screens to pick up when you touch it. So like if you've got 360 hertz, that means 360 times a second, it's refreshing the feed on the screen, picking up, trying to detect whenever you touch it. So super, super fast, super instantaneous. That's something you really want. And then when it comes to the capacitive triggers on top, those are 400 hertz sampling rate. So 400 times a second, those cycle to pick up whenever you touch the capacitive buttons. So that way you get instantaneous, super fast, really, really good feedback. It really makes for a nice experience when you're playing games. It's got a 4200 milliamp battery. It's not the biggest in the world, and I do have concerns about that, especially with the 144 hertz refresh rate. They did kind of scale the resolution down. So the resolution is only full HD plus, so 1080 plus. It's not quad HD, it's not 4K. So that does help save on some of the battery because the refresh rate really does eat that up, especially when you pair it with Quad HD Plus, like with the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, really does burn through the battery. So 1080p, that's nice. It looks good on this screen. It'll last you longer, but I do have concerns with 4200 milliamp. It does have quick charge 4 though, and it comes with a 30-watt charger in the box to get you recharged quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I do like what they've done there as far as the power on delivery for recharging it, but I kind of wish it was a little bit heftier in the battery department. But it is very lightweight. It's very balanced. It is very good at picking up fingerprints, and this is the metallic color, like liquid metal, I believe was the name. I really like the way it looks, but this is one of the reasons why I took off the case, because you can see there it really, really picks up the fingerprints because it has this glossy reflective finish on it. I think a matte finish would have done them a lot better here. So if you're watching this RedMagic, maybe next time, maybe make a matte version. That would really keep this from happening. But other than that, if you clean it off and you get some of those fingerprints on there, it's really nice looking. It's reflective. It looks like mercury. I like the way that it looks. Metal chassis on here, feels solid. It does have 5G, although 5G doesn't work in my area. I don't know if it does anywhere else in the US. This is an international model. Entry model $499. I like the price on it. I like that it's got a Snapdragon 888 processor, but I'm only getting 4G LTE. It does have voice over LTE, which it's nice and it's fine, but 5G, I don't know why there are some issues with this. Maybe, I don't know. I've gotten better luck with some of the Xiaomi phones recently, like the Xiaomi Mi 11 series. Even though those are 5G and the Snapdragon 888, they actually get 5G over here. And even some of the Poco phones. But this one right here, this RedMagic 6R, maybe it will work for you in your area, but for me, here down in Houston, I'm not getting 5G, just 4G LTE. But the Wi-Fi, super nice. The Wi-Fi 6, especially if you have a Wi-Fi 6 network, you're going to get gigabit speeds for transfer on here. I love that, and it's especially important when you do your gaming. So there is no IP68 dust and water resistance. There is no wireless charging, so you're missing out there. It has Gorilla Glass 3 on the phone, which I actually like. Gorilla Glass 3 was actually my favorite. It's very good for keeping from getting scratches on it. It's not as shatter resistant as the new Gorilla Glass Victus or even Gorilla Glass 5 and 6, but it is more better for when it comes to scratch resistance, at least if I remember from my memory when things used to be back that way. For the longest time, it was, you could have an older phone and they wouldn't scratch up as easily, but if you dropped them and they hit a rock, they would shatter everywhere. So this one, Gorilla Glass 3, aluminum frame, it is protected. It is something that you're not going to have to worry about too much, but yeah, if you drop it on a rock, it might not hold together as well as Gorilla Glass Victus. Those are softer, but much more prone to micro abrasions, which just irked me. So I'm actually okay with the inclusion of Gorilla Glass 3 here as opposed to a newer version. And it also helps keep the cost down because the newer ones are more expensive. It's a beautiful looking phone, solid construction. I was really impressed when I took it out of the box. This is the first time I've worked with these guys, and so far I like it, especially at the $500 mark to get your foot in the door. They do get more expensive, but a Snapdragon 888 with 6 gigs of RAM, I think that's a little on the low side. But also remember, this is a gaming phone. You're only going to load one game into memory at once. In memory, if you're not using all of it, it doesn't matter whether you have 6 gigs or 12 gigs. But I don't think this is very future-proof. They should have started, I think, with at least 8 it is 2021. We're halfway through 2021 now, so that's an area of concern for me. But at the end of the day, I mean, even like my Microsoft Surface Duo only has 6, so I don't think it's the end of the world. At $500, yeah, you're not going to be, if you load Fortnite, if you load Apex, any game that you load in here is not going to be over 6 gigs. So you're not going to have any diminishment in your actual game experience. But yeah, if you try to load a ton of stuff, maybe a couple games at once, swap it back and forth, you might could hit that 6 gigs of RAM limit. So I would definitely look for at least the 8, and then also consider the storage issue. 256, I think, is going to be more ideal. 128, especially for a gaming phone. You install a lot of games on here, take a couple pictures, shoot a couple 8K videos. 8K video is about 600 megabytes per second. So, yeah, 10 minutes is going to be 6 gigs. So think about that if you want to shoot 8K video, you want to play games. 128, I think, is a little on the low side. Maybe shoot for the 256. But that's all I've got so far. So far, I like it. I've been enjoying using it. I'm going to have a full review. I'm going to have a camera review. I'm going to dive in. I'm actually going to do a gaming review to show you how well this stuff actually games, talk about some of the tangible benefits you get from having a gaming phone. So that's all I've got in this video, taking a look at my unboxing and first impressions on the RedMagic 6R. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave those down in the comment section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.